Level up your skills. Subscribe to Naveen Tech Hub.
Welcome to Naveen Tech Hub. In today's video, we are going to master one of the most important skills every Python developer, AI engineer, and backend engineer must know: Python logging. Now, many beginners start debugging applications using simple print statements, but in real production systems, that approach breaks very quickly. Imagine your AI application crashes at 2 a.m. in production, or your API suddenly starts failing for customers, or your automation workflow behaves differently under heavy traffic. How do engineers actually investigate these problems? The answer is logging. Logging is like the black box recorder of your application. It helps developers understand what happened, when it happened, why it happened, and how to fix it faster. In this video, we'll start from absolute beginner concepts and gradually move toward production-grade logging techniques used in real-world systems. We'll cover Python logging basics, log levels, file logging, exception tracking, structured logs, Splunk monitoring, production best practices, and even interview questions. And don't worry, I'll explain everything step by step in a very practical and beginner-friendly way with real engineering examples. So whether you are a Python beginner, backend developer, AI engineer, DevOps engineer, or preparing for interviews, this video is going to be extremely useful for you. So let's get started and master Python logging together. Now let's understand one of the most important concepts in Python logging: the 5 logging levels. Think of logging levels like a priority system. Not every log message is equally important. Some messages are just helpful information, while others indicate serious production failures. And logging levels help us control that noise. Let's start from the bottom of the pyramid. First, we have debug. This is the most detailed level. Developers mainly use debug logs while developing or troubleshooting applications. For example, variable values, loop execution, API request payloads, internal function flow. These logs are extremely useful during debugging, but usually too noisy for production systems. Next comes info. Info logs describe normal application events. For example, application started, user logged in, database connected, workflow completed successfully. These logs help us understand what the application is doing normally, and this is commonly the default minimum level used in production applications. Above info, we have warning. Warnings indicate something unexpected happened, but the application can still continue running. For example, low disk space, retry attempts, slow API response, deprecated API usage. Warnings are basically early signals before bigger problems happen. Next is error. This means an operation actually failed. Examples: payment failed, API crashed, database query failed, file upload unsuccessful. The application may still continue running, but something important definitely broke. Finally, we have critical. This is the highest severity level. Critical logs indicate severe system failures. Examples: database completely down, server unavailable, security breach, entire AI workflow failure. At this level, immediate attention is usually required. Now, look at the code example on the right side. Here we are configuring logging with logging.basicconfig level equals logging.info. This means Python will only show logs from info and above. So debug gets hidden, info is shown, warning is shown, error is shown, critical is shown. This helps developers filter unnecessary noise and focus only on important events. And in real production systems, choosing the correct logging level is extremely important. Too many debug logs can flood your monitoring systems, while too few logs can make debugging almost impossible. That's why experienced engineers carefully balance logging levels based on the environment.
A production log needs structure. We can format logs to include a timestamp, the severity level, and the message, making them easy to read and search. This is configured using format in basic config. Logs must persist, even after the terminal closes. We achieve file logging by specifying a file name in basic config. Using file mode equals A appends new logs, while W overwrites them. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes beginners make in Python logging: improper exception logging. And trust me, this is extremely important in real production systems. Because when applications crash, logs become your primary debugging tool. Now, look at the left side of the slide. This is what I call the anti-pattern. Here, the developer is doing this. Try x equals 10 divided by 0, accept exception as e, logging.error, format error, e. At first glance, this may actually look correct. The error gets logged. And yes, we can see division by 0. But there's a huge problem here. We completely lost the stack trace. And the stack trace is one of the most valuable pieces of debugging information. Without it, developers don't know where exactly the crash happened, which file caused it, which line failed, or what execution path led to the error. This creates massive debugging pain in production systems, especially in AI workflows, Backend APIs, microservices, automation pipelines, and distributed systems. Now look at the right side. This is the best practice. Instead of logging.error, we use logging.exception, crash happened. And this is much more powerful. Why? Because logging.exception automatically captures the error, the stack trace, the file name, the line number, and execution context. Now engineers can fully investigate the issue. This is incredibly useful in real-world systems, where failures may happen across multiple APIs, cloud servers, background jobs, AI agents, or async workflows. Think of stack traces like GPS navigation for bugs. Without them, you only know something failed. With them, you know exactly where the failure happened. And this is why experienced Python engineers almost always prefer logging.exception inside exception blocks. It saves enormous debugging time in production environments.
Advanced logging includes automatic rotation to prevent full disks. The RotatingFileHandler manages this by limiting the file size and maintaining a fixed number of backup files. Now, let's look at something very important in modern production systems: structured JSON logging. Traditional logs are mainly designed for humans to read, but in large-scale systems, machines also need to search, analyze, and monitor logs automatically. That's where JSON logs become powerful. Instead of simple text logs, we store logs in structured fields like timestamp, log level, message, process ID, environment. This makes logs much easier for platforms like Splunk, ElkStack, Datadog, and cloud monitoring tools to search instantly. For example, an engineer can quickly search, show all error logs from production between 10 and 11 a.m. This is extremely useful in AI systems, microservices, cloud applications, and enterprise platforms. Libraries like Python-JSON-Logger and StructLog help developers generate structured logs easily. In modern engineering, structured logging is becoming the standard for observability and production monitoring. Centralized logging takes logs from local files to global dashboards. Structured JSON logs are ingested, enabling real-time search and automated alerts for critical errors. In AI and LLM engineering, monitoring the unpredictable is crucial. Structured logging is the reliable way to debug non-deterministic processes, track API costs, and monitor latency in agentic workflows. For production best practices, do use structured JSON and strict retention policies. Don't log sensitive data or spam debug logs, which hurts performance. Before we finish, let's quickly go through some very common Python logging interview questions. First, what's the difference between print and logging? Print is mainly for temporary debugging, but logging provides timestamps, severity levels, stack traces, file outputs, and centralized monitoring support. That's why production systems always prefer logging. Next, how do you prevent log files from filling the disk? We use something called RotatingFileHandler. It automatically rotates logs when file sizes become too large and keeps only a fixed number of backup files. This is extremely common in enterprise systems. Another important question: why use JSON logs?
Because machines and observability platforms like Splunk, Datadog, and ELK Stack can easily search, index, and analyze structured JSON logs, this improves monitoring and troubleshooting significantly. And finally, how do you capture stack traces properly? The best practice is using logging.exception inside exception blocks. It automatically captures the full traceback, making production debugging much easier. These are very practical questions, frequently asked in backend, DevOps, and AI engineering interviews.
And with that, you now understand one of the most important real-world Python engineering skills, Python logging. Today we learned logging basics, log levels, file logging, exception handling, structured JSON logs, Splunk observability, and production best practices. Remember, good logging is not just about printing errors. It's about building systems that engineers can monitor, debug, and scale confidently in production. That's why modern AI systems, backend platforms, cloud applications, and enterprise architectures heavily rely on strong logging and observability practices. And always remember this line: good logging turns debugging into engineering. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Naveen Tech Hub, and share it with other developers and AI engineers. Also, comment below, what topic should we cover next? Python APIs, AI engineering, RAG systems, LangChain, system design, or production AI architectures? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video on Naveen Tech Hub.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Naveen Tech Hub for practical AI.